What happens when two powerhouse singers collide over creative control and artistic vision right in front of a live audience? The result is even more dramatic and thought-provoking than you might expect. Before we dive into this unforgettable on-air showdown, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts below. Do you believe artists should always stand up for their creative principles, no matter the cost? Now let's get into this story. The Kelly Clarkson show was humming with its usual energy that afternoon. The studio audience was more excited than usual, buzzing with anticipation. They knew they were about to witness something special. Patti LaBelle, the legendary godmother of soul, was scheduled to appear as a guest. Everyone expected a delightful interview filled with laughter, inspiring stories from her incredible career, and maybe a stunning duet between two of the strongest voices in music. Kelly came onto the stage with her signature burst of enthusiasm, wearing a bright yellow dress that matched her radiant energy. The crowd broke into loud applause as she took her seat behind the familiar desk, smiling wide and genuine as always. "All right, y'all. We have such a treat for you today," Kelly announced, her warm Oklahoma accent wrapping around every word. "One of my absolute heroes is here, a woman who has been blessing us with her voice for more than 50 years. Please welcome the incomparable Patti LaBelle." The audience erupted in cheers as Patti appeared from backstage, looking absolutely majestic in an emerald green gown that shimmered beautifully under the studio lights. Her silver hair was perfectly styled, and she walked with the calm grace of a woman who had owned stages around the world longer than most of the audience had been alive. "Miss Patti, thank you so much for being here," Kelly said brightly as Patti settled into the guest chair. "I've been a fan since I was a little girl singing in church. Your voice has inspired me for as long as I can remember." Patti smiled graciously, though her demeanor carried a subtle reserve. "Thank you, sweetheart. That's lovely of you to say. It's always wonderful to meet younger artists who truly understand the importance of vocal technique and emotional connection." "Speaking of technique," Kelly said, leaning forward excitedly, "I was hoping we could do something really special today. My producers have put together a new arrangement of your classic Lady Marmalade, but with a modern twist. I thought it'd be amazing if we performed it together." "Kind of a passing of the torch moment," the crowd murmured with anticipation. But Patti's face shifted slightly, her smile tightening around the edges. Only someone with decades of stage experience would notice the change. "A modern twist," Patti repeated slowly. Her tone was polite, but there was an unmistakable edge. "What exactly does that mean, honey?" Kelly, still beaming, gestured toward her band. "Well, we updated it with some current beats, added a touch of auto-tune for that modern sound, and simplified some of the complex vocal runs so it's more approachable for today's audience. You know, bringing it into this decade." The studio air seemed to grow colder, though most of the audience didn't yet realize the tension brewing beneath the surface. Patti straightened in her chair. Her hands, previously relaxed, now gripped the armrests. "Simplified the vocal runs?" Patti asked, her voice still calm but carrying an unmistakable edge of steel. "And auto-tune on Lady Marmalade?" "I know it sounds different," Kelly replied quickly, her smile a little more forced now. "But younger listeners really respond to that polished sound. We just want to make sure your music reaches as many people as possible." Patti inhaled deeply, the way a singer does right before delivering a powerful note. When she spoke again, her voice filled the studio with quiet authority. "Kelly, sweetheart, let me explain something to you about Lady Marmalade. That song wasn't just written, it was born. It came from real emotion, from struggle and triumph. Those vocal runs you want to simplify? They tell a story. Every bend, every growl, every break in my voice, that's not just technique, that's my life." The audience began to sense that this wasn't the usual friendly back and forth. Kelly shifted in her seat, clearly trying to keep control of the situation. "I completely understand, Miss Patti," she said quickly, "and I respect that. But don't you think classic songs should evolve with the times? Even you must have performed your songs differently throughout your career." "Of course I have," Patti replied, her voice rising slightly. "But there's a difference between evolution and erosion. When you strip the soul from a song just to make it more digestible, you're not evolving, you're diminishing it. You're turning art into background noise." Now the studio was utterly silent. The cameras kept rolling, capturing every flicker of emotion on their faces. Kelly's cheeks were flushed now, her usual calm slipping. But Miss Patti, with all due respect, music has to grow. The industry's changed. We can't do everything the same way it was done 50 years ago. Patti leaned forward, her eyes blazing. And where exactly do you think people are now, Kelly? Do you believe audiences today are so shallow they can't appreciate true artistry? Or have we simply decided it's easier to water things down instead of lifting people up? The question hit hard. The audience sat frozen. Kelly's smile had disappeared. That's not fair, she said tightly. I'm not watering anything down. I just want music that connects with people. My audience trusts me to speak to them in a way they understand. Patti gave a soft, cutting laugh. Honey, music already is a universal language. Emotion doesn't need translation. When I sing, I'm not simplifying it for anyone. I'm speaking to their souls. And the soul hasn't changed in all of human history. But presentation does matter, Kelly argued, her voice growing louder. You can have all the emotion in the world, but if people can't relate to how it's presented, they'll just tune out. That's the reality of today's entertainment world. Entertainment world, Patti echoed slowly. Do you even hear yourself? We're talking about art. Music has the power to heal and inspire. And you're calling it part of the entertainment landscape like we're talking about amusement parks instead of passion. Kelly's jaw clenched. Look, Miss Patti, I respect everything you've done, but I've sold over 25 million albums. I've won Grammys. I think I know something about connecting with people. And I've been doing this since before you were born, Patti shot back, eyes narrowing. I've seen trends come and go. The only thing that stays constant is authenticity, real voices, real emotions, real truth. The production crew exchanged uneasy glances. What had started as a cheerful interview had become a live clash of generations, values, and creative philosophy. Kelly stood up suddenly, pacing behind her desk. I'm tired of being treated like some sellout just because I understand how to reach modern audiences. My music has helped people through heartbreak, loss, and depression. Don't tell me that's not authentic. I never said it wasn't, Patti replied calmly. But when you take my song and process it through algorithms, focus groups, and production filters, you're erasing what made it real. So what? I'm supposed to just sing songs exactly as they were 50 years ago? Kelly shot back. Never add my own touch? Never try to make it my own? Don't twist my words, Patti said sharply. Interpretation means understanding the meaning first, respecting the source. What you're talking about isn't interpretation, it's appropriation. You want the shine of my legacy without carrying the weight of its history. That's ridiculous, Kelly snapped, voice rising. Every artist builds on what came before. That's how music evolves. The Beatles built on Chuck Berry. Madonna built on disco. I'm building on artists like you. The Beatles understood Chuck Berry before building on him, Patti retorted. Madonna lived disco before she transformed it. You're taking a song born from struggle, especially from the voices of black women, and turning it into a polished pop jingle. Kelly stopped pacing, glaring at her. So this is about who gets to sing what songs, isn't it? About gatekeeping? Patti's eyes went cold. Gatekeeping? She repeated softly, her tone like thunder before the storm. I've spent my career opening doors for artists like me, but I will never let anyone trivialize music born from pain and survival just because they think it'll trend better online. Kelly's voice shook. Don't lecture me about struggle. I grew up poor in Texas. I worked for everything I have. I've been told to change who I am, too. Have you? Patti asked, standing now, her presence commanding. Or have you just learned to give the system exactly what it wants? Because there's a difference between earning your place and being rewarded for compliance. The air was so still you could hear the soft buzz of the cameras. Kelly's hands trembled. That's not fair, she whispered. I've never compromised who I am. Then why ask me to? Patti countered. You're asking me to reshape something sacred to fit your formula. You didn't ask what Lady Marmalade means to me. You just wanted my approval. That's not true, Kelly protested weakly. I wanted us to collaborate. No, sweetheart, Patti said gently but firmly. You wanted me to endorse your vision. That's not collaboration. That's validation. Kelly's face was pale now. This show reaches millions of people. I thought you'd want to share your music with a new generation. And what version would they hear? Patti asked softly. A sanitized, auto-tuned version that bears my name but not my heart? That's not honoring a legacy, it's erasing it. Kelly's frustration boiled over. Music changes. The world changes. You can't expect everything to stay stuck in time. I'm not asking for that, Patti said. I'm asking for respect. Growth is one thing, dilution is another. You're not evolving music, you're diluting it until it loses its meaning. Kelly threw her hands up. So what's the answer? Should we never touch old songs? Should every generation just stay separate? The answer, Patti said, her voice calm again, is understanding before changing. Some things are classics because they're already complete. Your job as an artist is to honor them, not to make them easier for people who don't want to listen deeply. Kelly followed her as Patti picked up her purse. Miss Patti, please, she said, voice breaking slightly. We can fix this. Patti paused at the edge of the stage, looking back one last time. Some things shouldn't be fixed, sweetheart. Some things are sacred. Until you understand that, you're not ready to collaborate with artists who live for their craft. And with that, Patti LaBelle walked off the set of the Kelly Clarkson show, leaving behind a stunned host, a silent audience, and a moment that would be discussed for years to come. The cameras kept rolling as Kelly stood alone on stage, the weight of Patti's words settling over her like a storm cloud. So what do you think? Was Patti right to defend her artistic integrity? Or was Kelly just trying to bring a classic into a new age? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more unbelievable stories from the world of music and entertainment.